You are still watching the Afia Morning Show, and as you know, our lead this week involves police brutality and allegations that have been made over the past couple of weeks. We are joined now in our studio by DSP Daniel Ndukwe, the Enugu State Command Police Public Relations Officer, to address these rising concerns. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, and good morning for having me. Good morning to our viewers too.
Good morning. I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get input from the police, but now you're here. So I'd like us to get straight to the question that lots of people have been asking. On Friday night, when Okezie Mba was performing, what actually led to the shooting? Lots of rumors have come about. People are asking, was it an assassination? Was there an argument? What happened? That question has not been addressed.
The question that should be asked is, what should be rather considered is the fact that an action was taken, somebody was shot dead, and somebody was identified for that act, and the person has taken responsibility. That, for me, is the more important thing. Because even in the investigation that is being conducted, nothing. I've said it severally, and many people tend to probably, what is it about this whole thing? Nothing. You've not told us what it is you were, for whatsoever reason. It's something a little bizarre for me, and for many of us who want in the police system and even the society at large. Like you rightly pointed out, a friend to the office, a friend to just about all the police. In fact, I'm even sure the same man, I've not tried to do that specifically. The same police officer involved, former police officer as a matter of fact, because he's dismissed and is already remanded. The same police officer, I'm sure, would also be his friend. So it's something that beats everyone's imagination. Because there was no reason for that. There was no altercation, like you tried asking. There was no misunderstanding. There was nothing whatsoever pointing to the fact that probably somebody had made you angry. You needed to, and even if you must do that, would give you the firearm. That's the least thing you need. Even if it was a slap, probably let's say somebody slap you or talk to you badly, you have your mouth to talk back. In the police force, there's something referred to as proportionality. Everything, even if you must go back the same way somebody has done something to you, minimally go with the same level of what the person has used to. If the person spoke to you badly, if for whatever reason you think you must respond to that, you also will talk with your mouth.
All right. Now, just before you come in, during the orderly room trial, did the rogue police officer, if I can say it that way, actually open up on what led to it? Because I believe that the police considered all the facts before it. Did he open up and say this was what happened? Could he have been intoxicated? Because we know that there were drinks involved and they were having a pretty good time. So, I mean, I find it difficult to understand how during a trial as intense as that, he would not disclose what actually happened. Because people need to know.
Well, let's get straight to that. That's why I say, because even if there are some things you say, you just know that it's flimsy. Or somebody say, okay, I saw somebody try to shoot my commander, that was why I had to. I mean, you ask questions, your commander was not even there, dancing was over, the young man was leaving, commander was back to his office. And so when I say, there's something you look at and you say, this is concrete reason why an action of this nature was taken by somebody. Well, there was nothing. When you say, okay, I don't want somebody to kill my commander, I saw the person pulling a gun. Gun was not found on the person. The commander was not even within reach at that material moment. So where is the idea? That for me is not an excuse.
So what did he say exactly?
That the person want to shoot his commander, saw the person bringing out gun, and you fire.
Did he say that the musician wanted to shoot?
That's exactly what the excuse we are getting.
That Igbo was trying to shoot his commander.
That's what we've gotten. That you saw him pull a rifle, and then you just will understand for whatsoever reason. That's why I'm saying, for me, it's a flimsy excuse. It doesn't. There's something you use. If there was any build-up, let's say there was a fracas, there was a misunderstanding, people were already having some form of melee, and then you're coming up to say, okay, at that material moment, this person wanted to do this, that's the more reason. Then somebody will want to hold on to that. I think whatsoever it is, I don't want to sound unprofessional thinking about this, but the local person on the street will begin to, if you're critical enough, you begin to ask questions. I don't want to believe in this, village people follow you, they don't follow you kind of thing. That's not what I want to look at. Because obviously there was just no reason for that. Like I said, it's even possible that has to be established because this is a frequent person to the office. Like you've also already pointed out, one of the police personnel in the same anti-cultism squad office lost one of his parents. They had gone to Enugu, not far from here, to bury the woman, bury that parent. Came back, we're still vibing. They went with the same Igbo. Came back, we're still vibing. Moved around, we're still having, an outcome of that funeral. You were still in the mood of vibing. Coincidentally, the same policeman record has shown did not even go to the burial with them. So for you to begin to think probably he got drunk, he didn't get drunk. He didn't go with them. So the whole thing is something that for me is a little bit, I don't want to go the layman's thinking way generally about this. But the point is, an action was taken that is totally unacceptable, and the needful was maximally done.
Okay, apparently, the Ogene was still played at the station, right? So I was thinking maybe he was too excited, right, and wanted to maybe a show of appreciation. I'm just, that's my thought, and release the firearm that is meant to go up. Apparently, they said it was on rapid, right? So I was even going to ask you, was it excitement that led to that incident, though?
I've mentioned very clearly what the excuse we've got. Yeah. So I don't know because if it was all about excitement, it wouldn't have just been him. Mm-hmm. And the point is, what are you even excited about? It was not even at the venue where the actual reason for Igbo coming around the station. The crux of the matter is that you went for a burial, a funeral. So if there was any form of excitement you want to shoot for whatsoever, which is also extremely unprofessional, if you had done that, you pay for it. If there was anything whatsoever, someone would have done that. Who would expect that to have happened primarily at the funeral? And at the station, the report has not shown, or what we've been have not shown, that, okay, people were just shooting in the air, vibing with the whole thing that was happening. So you wanted to join and whatever happened. Mm. Okay. It's very clear.
Let me get this straight, DSP Daniel.
On his own.
Put this in perspective. So we're looking at Ozowaji Joseph, who is the police inspector. And he said that he actually shot at Iboja because
thinking he wants to kill
that Iboja wanted
somebody
to
was
kill
pulling, he was pulling a
was
bullet
the commander at that scene at the time?
To the best of my knowledge, the record I have, this man was leaving. The whole vibing was over. Mind you, that vibing didn't start. If you know somebody that has from the day you went for a funeral and you're back, just, like, how would you put it in Igbo language? I was like, let's just complete and that will be it. Everybody goes wherever he or she is going. So that was this.
What is the place of mental evaluation? Because if someone has given such a ridiculous excuse, at what point does his head get checked?
That mustn't be an every minute thing. Everybody's head checked is checked almost every minute. But that wouldn't be, would you say that material, you need to check whoever is there? No. This was a very spontaneous, for whatever is at individual level. At our individual level, we have whatsoever is our challenge. If I have a problem, I should draw the attention of that problem to the authority. If I'm sick, I should be in the hospital. It becomes a problem if you're sick and I tell the authority that I'm sick, I need to be in the hospital. I wasn't given the opportunity to go to the hospital. And perchance, as we've seen, I misbehaved, then you begin to go back to the authority to say, this is what has happened. But when you know there is no basic issue, if you must pass somebody through any psychometric evaluation whatsoever, there must be an obvious signs that this one is not what it is. And what obtains in the force that once such observations are made, you're sidelined. Firearm, if you used to wild one, obviously you'll be stopped from doing that. And then if there's need for medical attention, we have a clinic. The police is as big as the organization is, we have a clinic and you'll be evaluated, and if there's any problem, we would know. But the instance that there's no obvious manifest situation prior to this event, it will be a little bit difficult to have said, okay, why didn't you evaluate? No, that's, for me, it's not the question as of this moment. People can act very rationally. Now, a normal human being can act very rationally. Even somebody that is extremely stable, something could trigger it, you never know. But the point is, it's something that is not too good. to be frank, because the circumstances around it is not what anyone would have expected for whatever reason. I am worried as a person that the now dismissed police officer allowed whatever came over him because I don't know. It's something the authority is taking very seriously. And the express rules guiding our activities, the Force Order 237 does not exist for fun. It wasn't made. It was made because at some point, people might want to abuse this instrument or tool of work. All of these laws, even the general law in society, is to guide behavior. So we have laws guiding every activity, how you use your fire, even how you deal with members of the public. That sense of professionalism must be expressed every moment. So if for whatever reason somebody has done something that is untoward, something that is totally contrary to what you're expected to do, what is expected is for the right actions to be taken. And I don't know what your assessment of what we have done is, because that was from the word go, the right action, to the best of my knowledge, was taken. Except probably we don't want to look at that too.
Well, it was being proactive. It's very important that it was taken, and also people are calling for public prosecution, right? So they get to see finally this dismissed police officer, paid for what he did. But I'm still going to bring your thoughts to one of the incidents that happened to that. There's an outcry right in the public. I'm talking about Odaka Smith that was shot on Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, 1 a.m. as said on 13th of October, being a Sunday, right? So can you give us an overview of the incident? And also you stated that there are laws regulations guiding policing, bearing of firearms and not abusing them, right? And it was abused. And that's why Smith lost his life. I thought.
Okay, I wish I could ask you the question, but you're the one asking, right? These incidents are very unfortunate incidents. Look, the sanctity of human life for me is one that, not because I'm a policeman, I wouldn't want to play with. And I know the police system doesn't play with that, because when you do the job we do, basically to serve everyone within the same society, the sanctity, the first thing, because it's the inalienable right of every individual, even God. God is very specific about human life. Who takes will also be taken. You don't play with human life, that you were not the one that gave the life to the person. But I have a problem. I think some of the reasons why I felt it's necessary I came here. There's another one that Natalie run an interview, and I'm going to say a few things about that.
Yes, Kingsley Aruna.
Because I was trying not to be too quick to delve into something when I don't have anything concrete. But I also know available records, evidence, investigations, and all of that are valuable to me is the one I'm going to work with. And I will say without mincing words, it's an unfortunate incident. In fact, I didn't go to church that Sunday morning. I'm saying this on live TV. I didn't go to church the same morning that it was a Saturday. It was a Sunday morning, AM. And I know the Commissioner of Police, Kana Yuzwebu, PSC Daga, had to immediately race to that scene with his Deputy Commissioner of Operations, his Deputy Commissioner State CID. Myself, I also joined. We went to the scene where we were told this thing happened. And the first thing that struck us was the fact that this is not a conventional location. We will say we either have a station police team, or police team is often posted to go and work. That was the first question. The first question we had to ask: is it that there anybody posted here? And if somebody is posted by that time, logically, let's be real with ourselves. Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway. We live in Enugu State. You agree with me, not going beyond even the laws that exist, tricycle operational time and all of that. Once it's 9:10, naturally, you see scanty roads.
Yeah, the dead zone.
It becomes a dead zone, apart from some locations where you still see life, even bubbling till the morning hours. So that was the first question we needed to ask. Who is the police team that could be here, this particular spot, that is not marked as one of our operational points where you post people either on pin down or not on pin down? That was not established. We can't find anything around that. Now, eyewitness, he was not alone, he was with two of his friends.
Yes.
Now gave a description to say, we saw this vehicle. We are thinking it's a police vehicle. Mind you, the public space we secured is not just of the police that operates in that space, except we want to think otherwise. It's not just our space to operate in. We have other agencies who also have legal statutory rights to operate in that space, operate in the way they could also operate. Now, he said they gave a description of the kind of vehicle they saw. They didn't give a description of any policeman. It's good we all have that understanding. So that description, because it's something that, for me, I didn't like it, as I should, I didn't like it. The police authority, the CP and the DC, very early woke up to go there. No one liked the whole thing. So we're interested in making sure we get down who could have shot, who couldn't have shot. The whole suspicion was that this is a police vehicle. We said, okay, given the description you have for this vehicle, all of the vehicles we know could match that description. This is very early. So when you begin to think maybe somebody had removed, we brought even every division, any little description that we think there could be a vehicle like this, we packed everything together. Invited these two eyewitnesses because they were with him. They were the ones that brought the story, the report of the shooting. We said, look at this vehicle. They looked at everything so far, so good. You know, when there's what we call identification parade. When somebody has done something, let's say we are here, somebody has done something that is not too good, you bring everybody who had suffered that thing to come and make that identification. That was exactly what was done. We presented every vehicle based on the description to say, have a look at this vehicle. If anyone matches any of the vehicle you're describing as to where the people that shot from, would immediately initiate. Until this moment, that identification has not happened. So it has not happened. So it leaves us in this set of limbo as to who. Mm-hmm. You know, it's always common. Yes, I will agree. Police could be everywhere. It's always common. The first casualty in this kind of thinking should be the police you think of. But we don't want to limit, because so far so good, we've not seen that we are not limiting investigation to just the police. We could expand them. Unfortunately, we have a situation in this part of the country and the world where we've seen people impersonate the police to do things.
Okay, just before you go ahead, DSP Daniel, for clarity's sake, are you referring to Smith Odaka or Kingsley?
That's exactly what he's saying.
This is Smith Odaka. All right, go ahead.
And also, apparently, it's good that we leave this bleak and the way you are, trying to, walk us through everything, investigation and whatnot, right? Now, are we attributing this to a kidnap? Apparently, a kidnap attempt, abduction attempt, that, because from some conversation in the city, that's how they now operate. Block you as a policeman or a forceman and trying to cater you away. So are you attributing this?
That would be totally unfair for me to do. We don't run conclusions. Like I told you, it's an open thing. When you do investigation, you must get into it with an open mind. If you bring yourself into it and run conclusions, chances are that you will not get the kind of result that is expected. So that's why I say it's so far so good. We don't want to say this happened. Investigation is not a hearsay thing. It's not a rumor thing. It's something that you deal with facts. You deal with evidence. So if you don't get that evidence, it will be totally wrong to run speculations. I don't want to try on speculation, but I'm just giving you an idea as to what so far so good we've been able to do in that particular case as of the last time I know. If there's any other development, certainly I will still make it public. That's what we've assured we would do. We can't, it is not something, human life, like I said, is something that is extremely sanctimonious. You don't want to play with it. So we would ensure that whatever development in line with this case is made public. But so far so good. We're not going to run with that speculation. Even if we hear it, okay, we could try to dig up in that line, but it's not something I can conclude and tell you that's what it is, because investigation is still ongoing. All
right. So we are saying that, you are saying that the Smith Odaka case may have been perpetrated by men in police uniforms.
Anybody could have. I didn't say many people. Anybody could have done that.
Okay, anybody.
So it's an open thing for us to investigate and then come to a logical conclusion. If we pinpoint at anybody, if it's a policeman or a team of policemen, with all due respect, they will solve it. Let me tell you something. The police is so organized that most times some of the disciplinary action taken may not be for public consumption, so it looks like nothing is happening. No. That we have a case in hand, we've seen the way it went, and of which I expect a little kudos to us, because with all due respect as a police officer, I can't remember when last we had this level of something handled in a very expeditious manner. And it's something we want to maintain, no matter the case. Once you identify to have done something, we will go in for it. It's simple. We have the police acts and regulations specifying that every policeman is responsible for how he or she uses, either misuse or use very well, the powers allocated to him. So if in the exercising of your power, you do something stupid, you certainly will face it.
If this is what it is, which we know that's what it is, then why are some of your men overzealous? They act like there are no laws, guidelines, regulations guiding them. They can just go out there and do whatever they want to do.
And I also tell you what I think is the problem is that we have, with all due respect, we live in a media age, the internet and all of that. I think as PROs, I've had to I have to bring back cases. You know, some are saying there's online police station now, or social media police station. You see people too free to come and bring this thing in the media space. But they don't also want to. I've had cases where people have reported you. I'm the one begging you. We can't. It's not. We don't run any office on the social media. Come, let's deal with this matter. Come, let's know what has happened.
Sometimes
you will see the person not coming.
All right, to reach out to the
okay, but
PPROs.
before we get to what can be reformed, what reforms can be made in the modern age, let's also look at this very critical case involving Kingsley Aruna. Now, when Kingsley was taken to the hospital, he was prescribed a lot of medications, and one of the medications was diclofenac. Now, diclofenac is used to treat pain, and that was what the doctor recommended for him. Kingsley Aruna, according to him, the only line he could say when he got to the correctional facility was that he had been hit with 2x2 wood, which we can interpret as a plank by the police. I don't know how many times. Now, the family of the deceased Kingsley Aruna, who died on the 8th of September, is saying that the police actually hit him, tortured him, and then even now said he was took him to court eventually and said he was being charged for public disturbance. Kingsley Aruna was only at a restaurant after work closed. And then during a raid of some sort, multiple arrests, and in the process, Kingsley tried to run away, and he was hit by these police officers. One of them's name is here already. So they are seeking justice, because when Kingsley was even taken to the correctional facility, the Comptroller General could not accept Kingsley until the police officers that brought him there wrote something, like signed behind the warrant the state of the person that they brought, and he had to be taken straight to the hospital. So I would like to know how the police is handling matters connected to the Unity Police Station. Okay. Because officers from that police station are being accused of this. This happened on the 6th of September. Initially, they said 5th, but it has been corrected. The date was actually corrected. I think it happened on 6th because it was as at 2 a.m. Yeah. So that's obviously 6th. And he died on the 8th. What is the police doing about this?
I like the fact that you're giving me the fact to react with. 2 a.m. And that's the word you use. And that's almost the fact I have too. Around, let me say about 3 a.m., by that time, ideally, nobody should be on the road. Now, at least I watched your video when you interviewed the person, I think it's his brother, Ernest, or something. Now, let me tell you this. That was in the morning. One, I was even told in the video that he's a keke rider. Natalie, you and I know that 9 o'clock is a termination time for keke operators in Enugu State, particularly within the metropolis. And as far as I know, Nkwanike, where this incident is said to have happened, is still within almost the Enugu East Local Government Secretariat. Let's even agree that he's a keke rider. But to the best of my knowledge, he's not one. If he rides at that moment, he wasn't riding keke. The keke was not recovered. He was taken to the station. He never said, oh, my keke is left behind. Go bring back my tricycle for me. I need to lay a certain sequence. The brother you interviewed said on live TV that place is known as tax collector's bar. Who goes to a bar by 2 a.m. along the road?
But you already quoted before that humans
I am. Hold on, I'm reacting. I'm bringing you so that we can open our mind to thinking around this thing in the most possible and fair way. There's nothing known as tax collector bar in Enugu. So if you're in the tax collectors bar, already you know that that place is meant for tax collectors. And who operates tax collection by 2 a.m. in the morning? As we speak, we have a problem with this produce thing. As at Thursday this week, they broke the vehicle of a driver at Oji River Road, broke his tires, destroyed his windscreen. The area commander, the commissioner of police, everybody went there begging road users to get out of the road because they were protesting. Sometimes in 2020, a man was stabbed to death in Oji River by the same set of people. When the local government chairman, newly elected chairman, assumed duty, one of the first rules he made was to stop all of those things on the road. 2 a.m. Somebody is in the bar, a keke rider that is supposed to have closed by 9 a.m., 9 p.m., and we are told that he is a keke rider by 2 a.m. And let me shock you the more. This team were alerted. It was a distress call that took them there. A driver said, please, in such location, people have blocked the road. They're not allowing road users use the road. I have pictures here. Maybe I'll forward it to you later. They used wood, used tables, blocked the entire road. People were not using the road again. And these policemen, they were already they were having issues there. Fracas was already existing. And the policemen came and were able to arrest. In fact, what I've even gathered was, like you said, he was running, he fell. In a situation where you have many people struggling with themselves, who will pay, who will not pay. I just give you an instance as a Thursday, just a few days ago. It became a fracas, broke somebody's vehicle, the person ran away, they started looking for them. The only rational way of which is expected the road users to protest was to block the entire road. It took hours. The same thing I give you an instance happened in Oji River. And there's even the government, the first PRO, sometimes late last month, the first PRO did a press release of the arrest of the same set of people in Ebonyi and Enugu State, the Nkalago axis of this state, who also were blocking road, obstructing the use of road. People bringing goods maybe from far distance in trucks and everything, you obstruct them, take money. And we also have observed on the same Opinsuka road, that's where this thing happened. We're also looking at the chances of even these people who block this road conniving with some people who perpetrate very violent crime, including kidnapping on that part of the road. So this very night, this thing happened. And then now he was arrested, like you rightly pointed out, it was not just him. Many of them fell because they were already having a fight before the police got there. Many of them were not just him, about one other person, for what I've confirmed, were also taken to the hospital because they had bruises as they were running to be treated.
Okay. Because we have limited time. I think we have just 5 minutes on our clock. But I've taken note of everything you've said. And first and foremost, I'd like to start with this statement. It was at 2 a.m.
Night time.
Yes, of course.
And the question is very simple, 2 a.m.
After midnight.
You are a keke rider.
Yes.
You were supposed to have closed by 9 p.m. 2 p.m. So what are you still doing there?
Yes, Daniel, I can be a journalist. And after the morning show at 10, I can decide to go somewhere else.
In a tax, hold on. In a tax collector bar, from what the person you interview said, I don't know of any bar like that. So if you call it a tax collector bar, automatically, yes, Afia TV.
Yes.
Yes, Afia TV, right?
Yes, it is.
So if I am in Afia TV right now, chances are that I'm police PRO.
Yes.
Chances are that I have a business to do with Afia right now. Is either there's something about me connected to Afia, or there's something I specifically need to do there. It shouldn't be one place I come and relax. So it beggars belief for you to say a keke rider that was supposed to have close work, of all the places he could find to go and sit down and have a fine time by 2 a.m. in the morning, like you rightly pointed out, was what they start a tax collector's bar.
Okay, let me get this straight. Now, I have the petition here, all right? He went to a restaurant within that vicinity. So he did not go to do anything that had to do with the tax. He went there just to probably vibe. Let's put it that way. But let me get my question in. The fact that I'm a journalist does not mean that from here I cannot decide to go somewhere else and do something. I can decide I want to write something. At that point, I am a journalist by profession, but I'm not doing anything related to the morning show. So the fact that he went there with his keke, not for commercial purposes, he went there to eat. How can we say that? How can we take away the fact that he was just doing his innocent, lawful, recreational activities because tricyclists should not be on the road after 9. Then second thing, he fell. How does the fall explain the cut behind his head, which according to the pictures that we have obtained from the mortuary, was not sutured by the police team that said they would suture that cut? The cut was still open at the back of his head, even when he was lying dead at Park Lane mortuary. How do you reconcile it?
I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm not. If you have instance like this, what will happen is that there should be autopsy, right? Autopsy will tell you whatever it is that has happened. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not going to explain all of that. But I also gave you an idea that as at that moment, there were fracas. The police it wasn't even where they booked and left to that place because they had an information that there's a situation there. People block roads. Some drivers are not happy. They're having issues there. And the police responded. Who would have known what happened there?
That is now why it takes us to the final question. Some police officers, 2 of them, DSP Uche Okeke and another Romanos Ugwain, have been accused of having some knowledge or involvement. I don't know to what extent, but these officers have been called out. Why are they not facing the law like the police command has rightfully done with this police inspector in Iboja's case? Why is it being swept under the rug?
No, hold on.
Is it being swept under the rug?
Hold on. Let's begin to understand the workings of things. The police duty begins and ends in the court. Every criminal case ends in the court. Now somebody was arrested, investigation was done, somebody was arraigned in court, somebody was taken to be remanded, and the person was remanded. I don't know the level of now let me even shock you. If he had a hit, he was taken to the court. And every other person had the opportunity. In the court, you have the opportunity to tell the magistrate or the judge in charge of handling the case, whatever you think you experienced. If police had hit him, you would have told him, it's possible you would have told the magistrate that, this is what situation I had. I'm not going to accept what they're saying. I was done this, I was done this. That never happened. Now we are hearing that the comptroller was the person he told. And I'm asking, is it a dying declaration?
Yes. It was a dying statement because the only 2 words, let's call it sentence, the only sentence he could make was, I was hit by the police with 2x2.
Was it the very moment he was taken to for remand that he died?
It wasn't, he was taken for remand. He already couldn't stand. He couldn't sit. He couldn't stand or sit. And the prisons could not agree to keep, they rushed him straight to the hospital.
And immediately he was dying.
They took him to the hospital, then later he was transferred to Park Lane, which is where he died. DSP Daniel, what I'm saying is, this matter needs to be interrogated. We're not pointing fingers. We're just saying it needs to be interrogated.
No, I agree with me. I agree. I'm only responding on the basis of issues surrounding that you yourself are aware. You've made this presentation. I'm not reacting on the basis of just open speech. I'm reacting on the basis of the facts you've presented. And I am saying, if that is the case, investigation will be conducted. Fine and good. That is a simple one to do. But I'm also saying, let's look at the whole immediate and remote issues around what you're raising. I don't get carried. It's an emotional thing. This is human life we're talking about here. I can become very emotional, but my emotional will not also take me away from looking at what the basic facts around the issue is. And the fact as such that I've also brought to your knowledge to also think along that line. How is it possible if you were called on what looks like a distress, you were told there's a situation there, go and handle it, and you go. People were already having issues, possibly fighting. And you and I gave instances where even the produce thing, somebody stabbed somebody to death. As on Thursday, I told you how it is, drivers protesting, block the road. So what are you thinking may could have happened at that spot, even before the police arrival? Police was not there when it started. They were only told there's a situation like that there, and they had to rush down there. So I'm worried how it's too quick a judgment to just conclude, oh, they hit. He has said it's subject to investigation. And police, we don't operate. The only instrument we have our named instruments. There's nothing like 2x2 as part of police equipment or tool of operation. We have the baton, if you must hold anything known as a stick. If you are the police instructor in training, you can have your baton, even if it's not a normal baton. It could be a stick, but there must be something to show that this is for the police force. This is my swagger cane. So I don't know how that very night that the police will be coming with a 2x2 to come and hit somebody. It's something we need to also take a back step and then think through it. Because I watched the interview, I see the driving, it's nailed it on these people. I agree, but I'm also saying, let the investigation be conducted. They are basic tools of our duties.
All right.
2x2 is not part of what we use. And I don't know if such 2x2 was recovered from the scene.
All right. Will this matter be investigated? Because we're still looking at, based on what you said, unpredictability. Like you rightly pointed out in Iboja's case, you can't predict what people do. Is it possible that the police officer could have picked that plank from the floor if he had
and
nothing?
deliberately bawam? He's the only one they saw there to hit. And what could have happened? So like I said, let's leave this whole thing. If there's the need and somebody has brought to the attention of the police to investigate, that will be done. You know, there are some things. Look, I'm also a very emotional person too. I don't like the fact that we're talking about life here. If you record, of which you was part of what you used when you conducted that interview, I said the police work. Once a case gets to the court, I think even at that level, the case will be called up again. You can go there and make a case and begin to make, even to the magistrate or the judge at the end of the case, that this is what actually the outcome of this activity. I would want even the magistrate can call for police action to establish such claims. It's as simple as ABC. So it's not something the story is even being said that somebody died in police custody, of which is not. Thank God you're also seeing the other side of it. Nobody died there. So let's be a little open-minded with issues of this nature. The job we do is the job of service to humanity. It doesn't mean when people do job, mistakes could happen. I agree. But if there's any mistake like the case we have, it has to be dealt with in accordance with the law, rules governing what we do.
Yes,
so
but
that's basically what's
I have
all
to get
about.
one thing straight. This man was in custody. He was not at home. He was taken to the hospital, Park Lane. He was still within law enforcement because the law enforcement was prosecuting that case. So is it out of place for them to say that he died in police custody? What I want to get, DSP Daniel, is I want to know if the police is going to investigate this matter.
I'm even saying
that is it.
If we'll get any report to investigate, certainly we'll do. Now I'm also saying even before you think of coming to ask the police to investigate, the case is already in court. It can even start from the court. It's as simple as that.
All right.